This is a Star News Brief. I'm African Njogu. Deputy President William Ruto has fashioned a strategy to either completely scuttle the referendum or neutralize the political consequences of the plebiscite. Publicly, Ruto is pushing for consensus on contentious Building Bridges initiative proposals, which he says will avert a divisive referendum. But what will his hustler loyalists say if he joins the dynasties? Behind the scenes, his associates are trooping to court, with prayers that have the potential of throwing into disarray the entire process. On Wednesday morning, Ruto is expected to host at least 150 MPs at his current residence to discuss BBI and adopt a common position. Get a copy of The Star by subscribing to our e-paper for only 10 shillings by dialing *550*3#. The more than 300,000 Likoni ferry users cannot wait for the Likoni floating bridge to be completed. The 1.7 billion shillings bridge, expected to be open to the public in mid-December, will be 800 meters long and will have a 6-meter wide walkway. The bridge will have a 150-meter long movable part right at the middle, which will be open and closed to allow for ships to pass through to and from the Mombasa port. The movable part will be connected to motors on both sides of the movable section, which will allow the bridge to open and close. The northern trestle, which is a part between the start of the bridge on the island side to where the movable part will start, will be 248 meters long. The southern trestle will be 188 meters long. Kenyans will now have to brace themselves for the worst beginning next week, as the stalemate between doctors and the government remains unresolved. With less than 7 days before the end of the 21-day strike notice issued by the union, there seems to be no consensus between the medics and the employers, with the union threatening to mobilize their members to down their tools from Monday next week. Similarly, the 14-day strike notice issued by the nurses and clinical officers expires on the same day, with a possible strike expected to commence on the same date should nothing be done to avert the looming crisis. Despite having several engagements with the government and the National Assembly, the union officials still maintained that what has been brought on the table does not address comprehensively the plight of the doctors in this country. Teacher Service Commission has asked applications to fill 6,674 vacancies for intern teachers to fill posts in primary and secondary schools. The intern teachers will support the bulging numbers in schools that has occasioned congestion in both classrooms and boarding facilities. The teacher employer, in an advertisement in the local dailies, shows that 1,998 tutors will be attached in primary schools, while the remaining 4,676 will be for secondary schools. The teachers will be part of the economic stimulus package promised by President Uhuru Kenyatta in the 7th presidential address on the coronavirus pandemic. Successful candidates will serve for 1 year. Those in primary school will get a monthly stipend of 15,000 shillings, while those in secondary schools will get a 20,000 shillings stipend. Embattled Governor Mike Sonko claims that 62 members of the Nairobi County Assembly did not append their signatures on the motion calling for his impeachment. According to documents before Justice Nzioki wa Makao of the Employment and Labour Court, the 62 MCAs have sworn affidavits denying ever appending their signatures to any motion. On Tuesday, the court temporarily stopped the impeachment motion in the County Assembly pending the hearing and determination of the case. Makao prohibited the Nairobi County Assembly from deliberating, tabling for debate, putting a vote on the motion by MCA Michael Okumu for the removal of Sonko as governor pending inter-parties hearing on Thursday. In the case, Sonko claims he has affidavits of the 62 MCAs who never signed the impeachment motion. A Thika SDA church elder who has accused a pastor of having an affair with his wife has moved to court in a bid to stop his prosecution. PM, who claims his local church pastor had a 3-year affair with his wife, tells the court that he is being victimized for allegedly speaking out on the adultery committed by the two. In a petition filed at the Milimani Law Courts, PM, alongside 3 others, wants the court to stop their imminent arrest. The pastor who had an affair with his wife has reported them to the DCI, and according to them, they might be arrested any time for speaking out the truth. In the case, they have sued officials led by Pastors Samuel Makori, Paul Mwangi, Jeremy Marambi, the East Kenya Union Conference, and the DCI. Get a copy of The Star by subscribing to our e-paper for only 10 shillings by dialing *550*3#. You can also get more on the Star website.